Hello and welcome to another Haçienda in Conversation. I'm Graeme Park, and joining us on the sofa today is one of the original Haçienda DJs. Please welcome Jon Dasilva.
Hello.
And how are you today?
I'm tired.
You're tired because you told me on the way into the studio you're just literally back from Alicante.
I am just back from Alicante. I got in about 2 this morning, and I was up very early because of the builders. Builders are working on the house, so no rest of the wicked. So I'm enjoying the nice, comfortable Haçienda sofa in Haçienda grey. Nice yellow, liking it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So listen, let's go all the way back into time, as Todd Terry once said.
He's stopped hypnotising me now.
Tell me about the young Jon Dasilva. So this is little Jon living in Preston.
Yes.
What were you listening to? How did you get into music? What was the first time you thought, oh, I really like this music?
Yeah, it was quite early. I was like 8 or 9. I mean, let's skip over the bit where I bought the David Cassidy album Cherish. We forget about that.
Because I have to skip over buying the Mud albums.
Yeah.
We're the same age, aren't we?
Yeah, we're the same age. You're a little bit older.
3 weeks older.
It's 26 days.
All right, 26 days.
So it was Bowie, and it was
Roxy Music.
Yeah, well, and Roxy Music, which came after for me. After I got into Roxy Music via Bowie because of the
T-Rex.
Yeah. So it was Bowie, and it was, I think the first single I bought was Genie, and it was those Top of the Pops performances, and I went to see it. I saw him live. It was around Ziggy Stardust time. It was just before Loud Insane, but it's considered to be the Loud Insane tour. So it's 1973. And I was 9. It's just, so it was like June, I think June or July, so I was still 9. So pretty early. So that's my first inroads. And from there on, I wanted to learn guitar, wanted to do everything. I had the posters on the wall, all the same, everything. Absolutely obsessed with everything that Bowie was about. So it was Lou Reed, Iggy Pop and the Stooges. Mm-hmm. I rather, sadly, was marched back by my 2 older brothers with a copy of Stooges' Raw Power to the Brady's record shop in Preston and say, no, he doesn't want this.
Really?
They
How much older than you were?
3 and 5 years.
Right.
So, but they had, yeah.
What were they into?
West Coast rock, which I've actually, digested quite a lot of that, and a lot of progressive rock. So it was, but they were also into Bowie and Elton John and all that stuff. But it was very proggy at the time.
Around that time for me, similar story, but all my friends at school, when we were teenagers, they were into progressive rock, which I just couldn't stand, which is why I love punk rock.
But it's before punk.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
many good Genesis albums, Graeme.
No, I know, but I never liked progressive rock. But when you get older and wiser, you listen to it and you appreciate it.
I still have occasional. It's not guilty pleasure at all, but I have listened to Close to the Edge.
Oh,
and I know all the drums, I know everything. So yeah, it was Bowie, and then really when punk comes along, that's the next major, really big shift. And I was still a little bit too young to be going out to punk gigs, but, hanging around the punk scene, hanging around the punk cafes in Preston.
What was the first punk record that you were aware of?
Oh, it would have been... it's all through John Peel, but it would have been obviously the Sex Pistols essentially, and then the Damned.
Yeah, A New Rose. When I heard
New Rose, yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, it wasn't actually that music that really got me going. It was actually stuff coming out of the States. So it was television, Talking Heads, Richard Hell, Suicide, all that stuff. Yeah. So Suicide, all that stuff that was kind of pre-punk, but that's.
We should do a gig playing that stuff.
I know, that'd be great. That's a great idea. Yeah.
All right,
Golden Lion.
Yeah. Okay, so that's you into music, right?
Yeah.
Then you're off to university in Kent.
Yeah, I mean, kind of in a way, prior to that, those bands, and it's the bands like Talking Heads, but also bands like The Fall got me into a lot of different music, like, cosmic music from Germany. And Talking Heads got me into Al Green, and then into sort of you get into the sort of the mainstream Black American music.
You like connecting dots.
Connecting those, so you got it's George Clinton and it's via Kraftwerk kind of thing. So all these things kind of gel together, and then I went off to university and doing film, and kind of denied my musician. I mean, I was in bands and stuff. I played guitar, I played drums, and I just kind of shut the door on all of that and tried to get into films more and whatever. And it kind of came to a head. And I was getting very bored at parties at university, and there was just this shit music being played, and there's so it started the germ of the idea of actually DJing. I'd had actually DJed a couple of times, but playing television and Talking Heads and whatever, and pop group or whatever before in Preston. But this kind of, it was that and reading about New York and the DJs in New York while I was at university. And that's why I started, thinking about doing sets, as it were, and putting music together like that.
So based on what you just said, when was your first proper DJ? You said you DJ before, but when was your
proper.
Your first proper DJ gig?
I think it was at the Whitstable Labour Club. And we had Alan Davis, the comedian, who was a year above me or 2 years above me.
What, QI Alan
Yes,
Davis?
yeah. He was telling banana jokes. He did a stand-up set with, apparently, but I don't actually remember this. Damien Harris is my little partner, and Damien Harris went on to run Skint Records.
That's right, Midfield General.
Midfield General. So he was 16, and we were like, me and Francesca, was my then girlfriend, Francesca Iliff. We basically set up a little DJ crew called the Lucky Bag Crew.
The what?
The Lucky Bag Crew.
Lucky Bag.
Remember Lucky Bags used to go? Yeah. So it's kind of like.
Very much.
So that was our first gig, and I remember playing, Velvet Underground and Dionne Warwick and Prince and hip hop and disco, and it was just that kind of, you just played what you liked and you just jammed it together kind of thing. As I say, Alan Davis did a stand-up routine, which I have no memory of, but apparently it was banana jokes. So
Would he remember you?
Well, I doubt it.
If
I
you
doubt
bumped
it.
into Alan Davis
No,
on the
absolutely not.
tube,
I mean, I knew exactly where he lived. He lived, I mean, we lived in the same village, for God's sake. So it's like, but I was 2 years, because I came to university late, because I took a year out to do a filmmaking course in London, and I had an operation on my kidneys when I was 17. That was another year out. Mm-hmm. So by the time I got to university, the third year of my age. So I was, so I doubt it. He was a drama student, obviously. But he lived with people that I did some plays as well. I was at university, so he lived with the directors of a couple of the plays. One of the plays I did.
So did you graduate? Did you get your degree?
Yeah. Managed to.
And then you moved to Manchester. Why Manchester?
Well, I didn't. I moved to Preston because
right.
I had a little because Francesca was no longer my girlfriend but my best friend. We decided we want to do something
very
like
grown up.
Yeah, all very grown up. And I'd heard about the lead mill. I think I've been to the lead mill because I'd been to the lead mill because I had a friend that's doing sculpture at Sheffield Arts, and I really fancied the idea of doing something like that in Preston. Get to Preston, find it's a bit of a one-horse town. Bless you, Preston. And actually, Francesca refused to move there, so she had an auntie in Manchester. So it was always there's that kind of beacon of the Haçienda that drew people to Manchester.
So what year would that be then?
Well, I actually moved in January '88.
Right. Okay.
So I finished in '87 at university, and moved to. I was living in.
Yeah, so obviously Haçienda had been there for 5-6 years.
By that time, yeah.
And obviously,
I'd been to it a few times, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You're a music fan, you're aware of its factory.
It was always quiet.
Yeah, it was always quiet.
Yeah.
So how did you end up at the Haçienda then?
Oh, I mean, I ended up doing, you do what you do. You go out and network a bit. So I'd actually, walk into town because I was so
physical networking.
Physical networking.
Online networking.
Yeah. Go into town, go to club nights during the week. So you meet the people that are doing the not necessarily the weekend nights. They're the ones sort of, up and coming, as it were. And there's a couple of guys, Mad Hatter, who was a funk soul DJ, and Dominic, and they put me on at what was then called Stuffed Olives.
Legendary. I never went, but
I
hear so much about it.
So it's a Sunday night. So it's a gay club, but on Sunday night it was kind of, it was free for all, and it was an after hours thing. They used to put the.
But did people know you were a DJ, or did you have to say, "I'm a DJ, can you give me a gig?"
Yeah. And you'd be trying to. We had decks at home. Francesca had bought decks, and we had decks on. You do tapes, but I think it was a lot of blagging, and I think it was. I can't remember how I got that gig, but I got that gig. Dominic and Andy Mad Hatter gave me that gig, and I think I did one or two. I think the first one, Bez. I can say this on camera, can't I? Bez was a renowned was a chef and a drug dealer, and he was the chef in the restaurant just around the corner from I think it was in, where was it? Corbier's, I think he was a chef at, and that's just around the corner from Stuffed Olives, and he went, "That brilliant set, lads. Here you go. Here's a pill," and I'm on the decks. And they go, oh yeah, there you go, John. There's your bit. And they didn't. I just took the whole lot. They didn't want it.
You didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what it was. No, bang. And I was carrying on DJing. I went, hang on a second. what's going around?
Yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah. So and I think
funny.
the second time I played there for them, I remember them paying me £17.50 exactly.
Really?
Exactly. Anyway, strange fee, but
That's a strange fee.
I know, isn't it? Just
My first fee was 25.
oof.
Yeah.
And that was a few years earlier.
It was.
So, and then the next one I did there, Paul Cons walked in with an entourage of Vida Sassoon.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It was a Vida Sassoon party.
Typical Cons, yeah.
Comes in with an entourage. And I happened to be playing sort of acid tracks, future acid tracks, with boys over the, boys.
Yes.
What's the name?
Sunita.
Sunita. Bit very tongue in cheek.
I wonder why Paul liked that so much.
Anyway, so and that's kind of gone down as a bit of a legend. A lot of DJs that were there were going, do you remember that time John played?
We're hoping to get Paul Cons on, because if those who don't know, Paul Cons was one of the managers, one of the promotions managers at the Haçienda, and we really want to get him on. I will ask him that very.
Yeah, so
the
thing is that in the meantime, Francesca had got a job at the Haçienda behind the bar. So got to know, Laurent kind of had a bit of a crush on...
Laurent Garnier.
Laurent Garnier had a bit of a crush on. Who didn't? Everybody had a crush on Francesca. And certain bar managers did as well.
Oh dear.
Yes. So I was getting into Haçienda for free, so I kind of got to know Mike a little bit then. But Laurent was obviously been lined up by the French government to go back and do national service.
So was Laurent doing the Wednesdays with Mike?
He was doing the Wednesdays with... No, he was doing the Wednesdays with
it's a long time ago, John.
I know, but it's Mark Fizz, and that was Zumbar.
Yes.
And that was kind of more of a cabaret. It was quite sort of a little bit sort of mixed gay night, I suppose. I don't think that was officially what it was about, but it had that feel to it. It was Cons' like little baby, I think. Mm-hmm. They had acrobats in the flying from the all that all mad stuff, and he wanted somebody to take over and do an acid night. Laurent was going away. The idea would have been me and Laurent, but Laurent was going away. And
to join the army, yeah.
To join the army, to serve in the officers' mess.
Yeah.
More
right.
More specifically, yeah. So I was right place, right time. So Laurent had already been trying to line me up to take his job, because he thought, well, John will get it, then I'll be able to take it back off him when he comes in.
Oh, I see.
That's my assumption, anyway.
But so you join Haçienda, but that Wednesday night ends up becoming hot.
I start the night, hot night. I didn't play.
Immediately becomes hot.
Yeah, in fact, Laurent did the first night to show me the decks. I think I played about for 20 minutes on the first night, and then because and I was like this, and then that following week, that was it. Me and Mike.
So do you remember that first DJ?
Oh, absolutely.
It's weird because when Mike and I did this Northern House review in February '88 after I met him in '87. But my first proper nude night was when Mike went on holiday and I was on my own. And
I know, remember.
But I remember everything about that night and the next two until Mike came back, and then it's all a blur. But
I wonder why.
Well, exactly. But I do remember even turning up and going to the booth, shutting the door, and even some of the records I played. So you remember that as well?
Yeah, but I do remember. The thing is, to be quite frank, that first few months of Haçienda, I've got a really good memory of what I played, everything. I think it's after that party we had down at the Bath Studios for Peter Gabriel's. No, the Peter Gabriel studio. Do you remember when we went down?
Oh, then down south.
To celebrate the ending.
It was pretty much, we all jumped
in August.
We jumped in a coach, didn't we?
Yep.
After the Haçienda.
After the Haçienda, this is another.
And we drove through the night.
Yeah.
Down the M4 and the M5 to somewhere near Bristol.
Yeah, out near Bath actually. Yeah,
That's
but it's like yeah.
And the control room of the studio had the stream running.
There was the live room. It was the live room of the studio. The stream going through it.
That's it.
But we obviously didn't arrive until the afternoon. So I thought
That's right.
I remember travelling overnight, thinking we can't have just left the Haçienda and.
Yeah, we did.
And then when we got there, we must have had some time off, or did we just go straight?
No, we went straight there, but we were all flying.
I know. I got paid in various substances.
Yeah, and
I
then
think from there on, I don't remember anything.
I remember Mike hogging the decks all night, like he used to famously do.
Yeah.
And he
I remember you two stuffing me with the last bloody set because you went off to the.
We went
yeah,
off.
and I couldn't see. Francesca again Francesca Eiliff is going to figure quite a lot in this. She had to choose records for me and put them on.
I'd forgotten about that trip. That was just.
Well, that's it. All I'm trying to say is that my memory is just becomes blurred from around that point.
Yeah.
August of because it'd been had a quite simple, let's say, diet before then, and it just went off the rails.
Yeah, right. So going back to the hot night on Wednesdays, even though I didn't live in Manchester, I stupidly moved to Manchester the week after the Haçienda closed.
Oh,
that's another. Right. I know that's another story.
Yeah.
But I would end up spending a lot of time in Manchester, which is probably why I ended up getting divorced. But I'm going to pay you a massive compliment now. I remember when I first heard you DJ, I thought, oh my God, here is a British DJ who can mix. Because I wasn't aware of any.
Well, neither was I.
Because people would, I would listen to mixtapes from America, from BLS and Kiss, Marley Marl, Tony Humphries, Frankie Knuckles, and go, what are they doing? I want to do that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't aware of anyone doing it. And then the first time I heard you, I was like, at last, there is someone else who can do it. How important was that to
that's
you?
amazing. Well, it was really important, and thank you for that compliment. But I'd actually learnt to mix watching a guy called Mr. C, not the Mr. C.
No, not the Mr. C.
A guy that's disappeared. He was playing in a club in Preston. Again, I forgot the name right now because
we're old, John, and it's a long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's been a long week. But I was watching him, and he was. I learnt how to mix by watching him doing it, basically. So as soon as I got the decks, my feeling was to do the long mix. My idea was to do the long mix. Not really, I really wanted to layer tracks, which doesn't always work. But it's. But that was always my kind of. I would sit there and watch the two things going around and hear the way that they work together, and it's had to, and there's that feeling it has to be not necessarily in key, but work.
Again, something else I was aware of because I started off playing saxophone and singing in bands.
Yeah.
When I was learning to mix, and if it sounded out of key, quickly
exactly.
swap the record.
Yeah.
But if it worked,
it
works. And again, you were the first British DJ I heard, apart from myself, doing that. How important was that?
People noticed it. It wasn't really important.
Exactly.
I remember it was Andy Connell from Sweetheart Sister went, "Fuck me, he's mixing in key," and it's like, well, that's just intuitive.
It is intuitive.
I don't work that fucking hard.
If you played in bands, then it's obviously a natural thing
exactly.
to do,
I mean, I'd been taught guitar for a little while, so there's obviously some musicality in me.
And
somewhere.
obviously, and what about acapellas?
Well, again, I still hear people play acapellas over some of the tracks, and they're completely out of tune. It's like it's the simplest thing.
I hear them out of tune and out of time as well.
I'm
not going to mention names, but there's some DJs back in the day would play acapellas, and then the vocal of the record would come in, but they'd keep the acapella going, and it'd be out of time and in the wrong key. Not going to mention names.
It was. I actually did it was Norman J. had invited me down to play his High on Hope.
Yeah, great night.
Is it Dingwalls? It was in Camden Lock. Is it Dingwalls?
Anyway, Camden Palace?
No. In Camden Locks.
Camden Locks.
Is it Dingwalls, the club? Anyway, so I think it's a Monday or Tuesday, or it was a midweek night.
Yeah, back in the day when there were loads of great midweek nights.
So he kind of saw me as a kindred, in terms of, I think that time. But anyway, the way he paid me, I mean, he stuffed me on at as the bar closed, which is not the best time to go on. And but at the end of the night, he just gave me a copy of Acapella Anonymous Volume 1. Which was, So that kind of kicked off a lot of the acapellas. Obviously, I had the whole resource then, and led to me playing Love Sensation. When you and Mike were away wherever you were, I can't remember, probably in the States.
I think if this was like 89,
it was 88.
Okay,
it was later than 88.
It would have been the States, and then in the 89 we're off to Australia.
Yeah, I think it was Australia, because, yes, it was Australia. It was Australia. That I do remember, because you got announced as Graeme Pink.
That's right, in Australia. For years, I was known as Pinky in Sydney. Yeah.
But anyway, so that led me to play Love Sensation, which was I started playing that on a nude night. So you come back to this. What the fuck? People asking
I know. I remember. That's right, because Mike and I had this arrangement. Once it was clear I was going to do Nude Night with him, we had this arrangement that one of us would always be there. But then when you got like New York or Sydney, we both want to go, and that's when you would lovely John would step in and do Nude Night.
Do the 5 hours, great, loved it. Go on. Carry
so
on.
So tell us. So Hot became quite a legendary night because like it was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday.
Nude and Hot kind of worked hand in hand, didn't it? Because Mike did both.
Yeah. Mike, I think Mike lost a little bit of interest in Hot once Nude really took off. I mean, he would turn up on about 11. Or 12 and just do a couple of hours,
really?
Yeah.
But tell us about the night, though. I mean,
well,
because you had the kind of swimming pool thing.
Yeah, I mean that was just it. So it did succeed. Zumba, which had that kind of cabaret element. So they kind of threw a lot of ideas. There was into it. So it was supposed to be a kind of Ibiza beach party. So it was a pool, a very large pool, which sprung a leak virtually the second night, the first night. So it started to leak, which was then meant people were slipping and that were holding glasses.
Yeah.
And there was then a trail of blood.
But
I'm sorry, I'm looking on the negative side of it. They also had things like, I think, do you remember Fred, the maintenance man? Fred did the Wheel of Fortune kind of thing. The big wheel on the stage.
Oh yes, I witnessed that once. Yes.
And at one point it went free bar.
Really?
The idea was never to go free bar, but it was just one of those. It became so superfluous within about, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks. They stopped doing it, and the pool disappeared eventually. Once they realised that health and safety was ridiculous, and as I say, it just got crazier and crazier. For a Wednesday night, it wasn't necessarily that busy. It would be maybe 600-700 people in a 1,000 capacity venue, but it didn't matter. There's that sudden change in atmosphere from, back in the 80s, people would go, "Oh, I like this tune. I'll go and dance." When they're not into it, they go and stand by the pipe or they'll drink, and then and then it's, "Oh, I like this one." And they go maybe dance one or two. Now it was just people just on the dance floor solidly, and that's driven by obviously by a cocktail of.
Music. I mean that was like what was happening musically and
chemically as well.
On the subject of music, though, acid house. What did you think? You've mentioned acid tracks, but. What was your first acid house experience?
Well, it was that.
It was
that.
And what did you think? What did you think?
I just think it was because I mean I look back now and I can maybe intellectualize a little bit more, but it was just the craziest, the darkest stuff I'd ever heard, and it the fact that people were grooving to that, were dancing to that, when it was quite left field in terms of its it's got low melodic content to say the least, and it goes on for a hell of a long time. It was kind of like some minimalist. So, it could have been Steve Reich's composition, as it were, in a way. I mean, it's got that kind of weirdness to it and left fieldness to it. But and then you're playing it to people that never heard anything, as experimental as that. So, I mean, it runs hand in hand with a lot of stuff that was happening coming out of Detroit. Derek and Kevin's experimentations back then. New Photo being, for me, the sort of the year zero of techno. So those records came out around the same time. I mean, I think possibly, around the same time. I'm sure there'll be some bores that will write in and say,
No, they did. But Chicago and Detroit had very different sounds, didn't they?
But they were hand in hand. They used to borrow each other's equipment. So Derek would drive up to he's told me, would drive up to Chicago and borrow, I think Pierre's, whatever, borrow a 909, whatever, or borrow an 808 and drive back down and what have you. So they were very much hand in hand. Detroit felt like the baby brother, absolutely, at that point, and then became the absolute monster that is techno, which is kind of, so overground now. It's not true. It's like, it's probably the biggest genre outside of R&B, I suppose.
Sticking with acid though, why? I mean, like, we're going to jump to the present day. You're very involved in the I Love Acid.
Club night.
What is? I mean, clearly you love acid house and have done now for 30 years.
Yeah, 35 years.
What's its endearing qualities? Why is acid house still so popular?
For me, and it also applies to a lot of house music. It's the rawness of it generally. I got bored very quickly of kind of industry standard overproduced music. Although there's a lot of great stuff back then. Like Clivers and Cole were fantastic, and
Yeah.
that's very well produced. But I love the rawness.
But it's still a bit of rawness about it.
Yeah, but the kind of bedroom stuff that was coming out of Chicago, still absolutely adored and love. And that wonkiness that you get, it's just interesting records. I don't like all acid house because there's a lot of formulaic stuff and but there is that rawness that's important to me.
I've not been to an I Love Acid night, but obviously I see all your posts online and Posthuman is posting about it all the time, understandably. But when I see videos from I Love Acid, it's like there's a lot of young faces there. So what is the appeal to someone in their 20s for an I Love Acid night?
The crowds we get. I mean, I've been involved for.
I hope you notice I've put this on especially for you, John. Yeah. Acid house especially for you.
Absolutely.
And you didn't even notice.
I didn't even notice. I thought you were in a Berghaus. I didn't.
No.
Oh, dear me. Honestly, when I first got involved, which is about 7-8 years ago, I was just the crowd, the atmosphere was it was just the most loveliest crowd and atmosphere I'd come across in a long while. It reminded me of the good old days, as it were.
How did you get involved?
I got a hold of Posthuman because I just got in contact with it because I was loving the music, and I was helping out an agency called Electronic Soul at the time, just doing writing some blogs for them and stuff. I was out in Sweden at the time, and I just got in contact with Joshua Doherty from Posthuman and said, can we look after you on the agency? And he said yes. So we got him a few gigs, but then he just pulled me into I Love Acid, and it's been really it's for me the most important moment in the last 10 years of my life, I suppose, or last 15 years of my life, because it was an opportunity to actually kind of reinvent myself in terms of how I was perceived in the UK and abroad, having been associated with our particular period, the Haçienda.
I know.
You get stuck with it.
You do.
And I'm still stuck with it. I haven't completely reinvented myself, but it's given me some self-respect that I probably didn't have before. It's nice to be able to play new stuff, and that's what and I think the Haçienda's moved away from the idea it's a big celebration. We play what we want, and it's generally.
Well, yeah. On that topic. So in the past, I mean, Haçienda closed in '97. Completely disappeared for probably about 8 years.
Is it that long? Wow.
Then we started doing the odd night at Sankey's, but then throughout the 20 teens and especially the past 5. Well, apart from the pandemic, since pandemic and just before the pandemic, the Haçienda nights we've done, not just in Manchester, but around the country, I don't know about you, but you look out, you see the majority of the crowd were probably born after the Haçienda closed.
Yeah.
Why are they coming to Haçienda nights?
We come back to your question was regarding I Love Acid. I think, I mean, it's generally all brand new music with I Love Acid anyway. So, I think. I mean, okay, there's one little story. I went up to Newcastle.
Spit it out, John.
I went up to Newcastle. I need some water.
No, I know.
Nice,
I'm sure we can arrange some water.
I've got the builders in. That's not a euphemism, but I've got very dusty house. So I come from a very dusty house to a very hot interview. I went up to Newcastle recently, maybe end of last year, sometime or other. And I was met at the station by somebody, this guy who was asking me all these sort of questions about our night we did it in the swimming pool.
Oh yeah,
Victoria Bath.
Other side of midnight.
Because that was filmed. That was filmed, and that's gone down like legendary. Because
I know
they weren't alive.
The stories I've got from that.
Yeah, I know. We won't tell those stories, but that's kind of a slice of a period of musical history that there's so little stuff that's been filmed. So there's a few films in the Haçienda, films made of Haçienda, but there's some footage rather that Wilson did. But there's a whole group of people there that are absolutely obsessed with that period. So I think there's we might have skipped a generation of people that actually rejected all that music and rejected Haçienda because it was so big. Yeah. So a generation came out and they went to hip hop. A lot of them went to certainly Manchester it became a hip hop city. Yeah. And then we kind of swung around a little bit again. And I think that there's a generation coming through fascinated by that. It's weird, as much as we were fascinated by, let's say, the Velvets in the 60s, Velvet Underground, what have you. So and the whole Exploding Plastic Inevitable, that whole period.
So I think it's the Haçienda's legacy and its history is like something that people discover and go, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Haçienda's legacy plus the Chicago legacy, all of that. So,
your water's arrived.
Thank you so much.
I don't know about you, but I look as someone who's been. This is my 40th year as a DJ, and because I'm like you, probably, you can count the weekends I've had off in 40 years on the fingers of two hands, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing it week in, week out. I find it refreshing to see a young audience who don't come with that baggage of, oh, I used to go to Haçienda and you never used to play this.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. But
They don't care. They just enjoy the
yeah.
music, whether it's an old track that's well known, an old track that's obscure, or something brand new.
Absolutely.
They just go for the vibe.
I mean,
Do you get the same feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got DJs like you and McVicker who've just gone like absolutely just sky high in the last couple of years. Who was involved in Isle of Acid. That's kind of beside the point. But I mean, you listen to his sets; they're peppered with music from that period. So
Scottish.
Scottish, yes.
He's great though.
He's
by the way.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah. You know, and he's he's absolutely lovely. But you can see there's that kind of reassessment. It's working its way back into music making now. Productions now, so you're hearing a lot of music.
Exactly.
You can
exactly. You hear something that's brand new, and you hear elements of 1989 or 1993 in it. So the natural thing for people like you and me is, I'm going to play this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
One of the things that gets me is having such a vast. Do you still have all your records?
No, I don't anymore. I finally got rid of them in Sweden. I say finally. I travelled. I've been moving around the world. I mean, it's Barcelona. No, so it was Sweden, then Barcelona. And it was just like I just decided to get rid because they've been ravaged by people stealing from them whenever I had a party and things like that. And
I've still got all mine in a lockup, and I occasionally go and grab a box at random, and then I'll find stuff I've forgotten about. But as soon as you put it on, you go, that was massive at the Haçienda for 2 months because once your record box was full, you had to make space for new stuff.
Oh, there's loads of that
So
stuff,
I'll digitise it.
Yeah.
And you drop it at, say, a Haçienda night, half the crowd who were there recognise it and go, this is amazing. But the other half will come up and go, come on, Parky, get some proper classics on.
Exactly.
And you go, but this is...
I know. And there's a lot of Glue records that we played that I absolutely, loved. The Glue records, they weren't massive tunes, but they're really important.
Yeah, how many Strictly Rhythm were releasing 2 records a week?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At Nervous Records.
Yeah. But you had if you played, I mean, people expect you to play one big tune after another.
I know, no.
And they don't work like that. That's you need those Glue records.
Exactly.
That
I like that, Glue records.
Yeah.
What's your view of massive? It's a trend from the past few years. Massive lineups, as many DJs as possible. Everyone with a short set.
Well, what can I say? I mean, I understand the impetus. I understand why the promoters are doing it. It's and they did it back in the day. We had these ridiculously long lineups back in the day. I mean, 18. But no, obviously for a DJ, it's depressing because you can't get much said.
It takes you half an hour, 40 minutes to get into the groove.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. No, I'd prefer to play over 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Minimum 2, longer if you can.
We both enjoy starting the night and ending the night. Come on, let's face facts.
No, exactly.
A 5-hour journey is where it should be.
Exactly.
And I rarely get that chance to do that, but it's...
Going back, so, and also as well, to kind of tenuously go back to mixing, if you're DJing for a long time, you're learning your craft and you're learning to mix. And talking of mixing, is it true you taught Sasha how to mix?
No.
Right, next question then.
No, it isn't quite like he watched me play in Haçienda, and coincidentally he actually moved into the apartment block I lived in Whalley Range in Manchester.
I remember that apartment block because I slept on that floor one night and you had to wake me up to catch a flight to New York.
We went to New York. Yeah, we went to...
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to jump forward to that. So don't.
Yes, I did, but I didn't teach him how
to. Don't believe what you read on the internet, basically. So on the subject of catching flights, do you remember the New Order North America tour of 1989?
Could not forget it, Graeme. We had a ball.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Because
we got a bit giddy because we both like to mix. And
we did.
We can actually, so we're mixing.
Exactly, but to put it into context for the boys and girls at home, we got told, not asked, told, right, New Order want you to.
Yeah.
Mike went for the southern states. You and me went for the north, east, and midwest states.
I think
we were basically on tour with New Order.
Yeah.
Massive stadiums, after parties, and lots of shenanigans.
Lots of shenanigans.
Do you remember you climbing on the roof of a limousine going through Chicago?
It wasn't Chicago, it was Milwaukee.
It was
Milwaukee.
The first night,
and Rob Gretton, and it's Rob Gretton's, the anniversary of Rob Gretton's death today.
Is it really?
It's the 15th. Is it his death?
It's today's 15th of May. I didn't realise that.
It is, yeah. It is,
Wow.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Rob, hilarious.
It was hilarious. He kept everything together.
Absolutely.
Because the band were at each other's
Oh,
throats.
I know. But he hired the longest limousine
That's right.
you could possibly hire,
And you
which
were on
couldn't
the roof.
get round corners, and it had a shotgun seat. You could sit out shotgun. And I thought we'd had a few sherbets and the rest, and I decided to climb out of the sunroof,
Slid it back.
to climb into the seat at the back, which is the literally leathered seat sit outside as we're turning a corner. So yeah, I think I managed it.
You did manage it. We were all, oh, John, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We were young and foolish then.
Yeah.
But what else do you remember from that tour? Because all I remember is pinching myself every morning when I wake up in a lovely hotel, thinking, I'm 20, hang on, 89, 20, 25, 26, so we're the same age. Would have been 25.
Yeah.
And I'm in a lovely hotel on tour with one of the greatest bands ever.
I remember lots of it. I mean, it's vividly. I mean, it was, where'd you start? One of the funny things, I told this story a few times, was the way the band dealt with the local press. Do you remember they had their dressing room?
Yeah.
They got this boogie box made. You know,
That's right. They homemade.
Home-built. So we had a decent amp in it and these speakers and everything, sort of NAD amp, and it had a cassette player. And they usher these press people, you know, journalists from whatever local press, Chicago Tribune or whatever it might be, and they come and shut the door. They had a little smoke machine, a strobe, locked them in there with an acid house tape playing for about 30 minutes.
Yes.
Just to soften them up.
You say your memory's rubbish. I'd forgotten that, but now you've said it. Of course I remember.
And then open the door, and they'd come in, and it's, you know, sort of turn the lights on, and like that. Just be like pinned to the back of their chairs. So that was one of the funny things. I mean, I remember in Chicago, everywhere we went, Chicago. Everywhere we went after the gig, we went out with Rob and I think Bernard and some. I mean, all the band.
There was sometimes after parties as well.
But I'll come back to that. I remember we were trying to go for a drink, and every time we went into a bar, they'd put on new order.
Yeah.
They just either recognised or they knew we were coming. There's people phoning, you know, so we'd turn around and walk straight back out again. Go, fuck this. So I think we finally found a bar that didn't play new order when we walked in. But I remember we finally came out of the bar, and Rob, again, had a few sherbets and what have you. And this guy selling balloons, silver balloons,
Yeah.
And
Rob
he
Greta,
bought the entire bunch of silver balloons and gave them to me as we got into the limousine.
Yes,
Said, John,
and you had them out.
Fucking hold on to them. I'm fucking.
You had them out.
I had them out the window of this.
Yeah,
we're going to play 60 mile an hour, whatever, over one of the bridges in Chicago, and I'm going losing them one by one, and Rob's growling at me, "Don't you lose those fucking balloons?" You know.
So this is about the point when I'd been DJing for 5 years. I'd been at the Haçienda for a year. And even then, I'd never really thought of being a DJ as my career. But this is about the time I thought, hang on a minute, maybe this is my career. What about you? When did you think this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
Pretty much around that time, I guess, as well. I mean, I remember being told by people, "Oh, it won't last." You know, the first summer of love, as it were, it won't last. You know. And I actually worked in Expansion's record store, which was down by Victoria Station, and I managed 4 days in there. The guy wouldn't let me sit. It was Dean Johnson, who's a DJ at Haçienda. He wouldn't let me sit down. 8 hour day. We had one customer a day. You know.
Let you sit down.
Oh my God! So I think I lasted 4 days and just kind of sacked myself. But yeah, and he said, "I won't last, John. But you get yourself a job in the record shop." It's like,
yeah, no, I was the same. I thought maybe this is something that's going to run on.
Yeah.
But apart from, I mean, obviously that was, for both of us, one of our first experiences of travelling abroad for work. But you've since then, like me, travelled all around the world. More recently, you've been on tour with Happy Mondays. What was that like?
2 tours.
2 tours. What's it like? I mean, I know all the guys in Happy Mondays.
I love those tours because I don't see much of the. I see a lot of the bands, not necessarily Bez and Sean. They've both got separate tour managers and travel separately. But it's the camaraderie of those tours, which is great. The first tour was actually a tour bus tour, so we're actually sleeping in the tour bus.
Oh no!
That I don't recommend ever. I would never, oh my
Listen,
God!
you don't have to tell me.
Sleeping in a coffin basically, which I struggle to do. So it was extremely,
What's it like being on tour with Rowetta?
Great, yeah. fantastic, and a lot of fun. But the second tour was all hotels, and I kind of that was a lot more relaxed, as it were. But again, it's just the camaraderie. So it was, you know, I had the easiest job. I was like the ship's cat. I had the easiest job. I mean, literally, I just don't do doors till the band comes on, and there's only like people in there for the last hour of that. So you just play what you want.
And what were your favourite places to play in the world these days? I mean, outside the UK.
Outside the UK. Well, Barcelona was a great one. I really enjoyed playing in Barcelona. And yeah, I can't think of anything else at the moment.
What took you to Sweden? Because you went to Sweden many years ago and lived there.
Yeah, in 2010. It was the mother of my now 20-year-old or nearly 20-year-old Oscar, Swedish, and she felt the urge to get him back there before he turned 5 to start a bilingual education there. So that was the only impetus to go there. It was career suicide in so many ways, but I had to kind of follow.
Did you DJ in Sweden?
Yeah, I did, but there's you know, in terms of getting decent fees, it was really hard to get, because you play Göteborg, or you play Malmö, or you play Stockholm for a big gig. You're not going to play there again for maybe 9 months, maybe 12 months, maybe.
But you were coming back to the UK quite a bit.
I just thought I had to come back to the UK. Yeah. It was, the alternative is just playing these bars, these 6-hour sets in bars for like peanuts, So
they got to the point where you thought, I need to go back.
It wasn't quite. Yeah, I wasn't. There was other external events that forced me to come back. But I was so glad to come back, and my son wanted to move with me as well. And eventually that's happened. So he's been living with me for the last 3 years.
So apart from DJing, you've produced, you've made music over the years. How do you approach that? Because it's a completely different discipline to DJing, isn't it?
Well, it was kind of, in many ways, it's kind of why I got into DJing in the first place. It was the idea, really. I was interested in making music. I'd been making music since my early teens, one way or another. Either I had a Revox A77, which I managed to buy with some inheritance money, from my father's death, some insurance money, whatever. So I'd be messing around with drum kits and guitars, making tapes and stuff. So I kind of saw DJing as a way of financing the production. It kind of didn't work, did it? Because we all got so busy with the DJ.
I know.
So that you do Thursday through till Sunday, and then you basically wake up on Wednesday, and then you're out again.
I know. It was the same with me. I did start off doing that same thing, but DJing took over. And then when in the 90s, when remixing became such a big thing, it would be DJ Thursday, Friday, Saturday, go home Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, remix.
In the studio, yeah.
But that's someone else's material.
Yeah.
Got paid quite well for it.
Yeah.
And then back to work.
Yeah.
What are you still making stuff now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
tell us what's coming up.
There's a release on Hot Werk Records, which is under the name of. Which name am I using on that one? The name of
tell us some of your pseudonyms then.
Well, no, the one coming out. It's just waiting for the last mix to be finished, and it's under the name of Skyscraper Hi-Fi, and that's actually a reworking of an old ESP. Remember ESP? It's You.
Yeah.
There's an ESP tune called Let's Move, and I've kind of taken that and exploded it. So there's 2 or 3 versions of that. So that's coming out in Hot Werk. That's the next one. And then I've got my own label.
Yeah.
Finally, dipping my toe into that, just a Bandcamp based, with short run vinyl, and that's a label called Black Dragon Sound. So I'm releasing another 2 tracks of mine, which is more kind of dub orientated acid house. It's very kind of dub reggae orientated.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe to it. But in the past, my names have been Disco Universe Orchestra, Ideal, Vocoder.
Why use pseudonyms? Why not just be Jon Dasilva, who everyone knows?
I know. I don't know.
Quite a cool name.
Yeah. I think it's because you feel a little bit like,
Have you got multiple personalities?
No. Yeah.
Going back to DJing, right? I've asked a lot of DJs this. How do you source your music? I've got an email address that's solely for music promo, and it is overwhelmed on a daily basis with new music.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
I have those days when I sit and I pretty much lose my mind and trawl through, hours of it.
And what percentage of trawling is fruitful?
It's possibly less than 1%.
How many?
Less than 1%.
Yes.
So I then give up. I mean, you feel guilty, so you've got to do it. I mean, if obviously you spot names, you go, oh, that's great, yeah.
If you push for time, you have to.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to go, oh, I recognise this name, I recognise that promo company, I recognise that label, I trust them,
Exactly.
I'll check them out.
So,
But then you feel guilty for missing stuff out.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, we talked about it before, when you just just connecting those dots online, you're into one particular label, and then somebody that's producing for them plays for does something else. It's usually through Bandcamp. Most of my stuff I get is through Bandcamp and Clone.nl, which is Clone Records in.
Is there too much music being made?
You can't say there's too much shit music being made. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, right. So I put that down to technology, democratising the whole music business.
The whole music business, yeah, exactly.
But the A&R process seems to have disappeared.
I don't think. I think most of these labels haven't got A&R people as such. It's just people want to put out. They want to put out.
Because see, traditionally,
they won't be into A&R departments.
No, but traditionally, back in the day, when it was physical releases, record companies wouldn't put something out if they didn't think it would make money. Yeah. So then, therefore, you were guided and given advice and help.
They did a physical promo as well, which cost money.
Yeah, exactly.
So they had to gauge, and we were the.
We could get it's 3:15 in the afternoon. We could go and get drunk, and then go into a studio and make something and have it on Bandcamp by 10 o'clock tonight, couldn't we?
Essentially, yeah.
But it wouldn't necessarily be any good, would it?
No.
Nobody would stop us doing it.
No. I'm surprised by there's a lot of stuff you can find in Bandcamp that is vinyl. It's that's they're selling.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's like, really? You actually wasted the resources for that? Petroleum, whatever it is that you've actually had to to refine to the point of turning it into a vinyl. That's been used for that.
Sticking with technology, obviously, technology has helped people make music, but it's also made DJing easier. What's your thoughts on current crop of DJs and techniques and skills?
Yeah, the gig I did at the weekend in Spain, I was using this new Pioneer all-in-one, which is the Alpha Theta thing, the beautiful. It's a lovely thing.
Oh,
what's it called?
My son wants me to buy one. He doesn't want to buy one. He wants me to buy one.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The kind of fake wood-looking thing with the brown in it.
Yeah.
We know. We're old. We can't remember names. We're not geeks. We're not tech geeks.
It's 4-channel, and you can actually assign.
And it works with Record Box and Serato.
Yeah, and Serato, but you can actually assign. That's beside the point. I don't use.
You used it. Did you use it?
Yeah, I loved it. It's great.
You loved it.
But the thing is, I was playing as if it was vinyl because I had there's no BPM came up and no files.
I like that.
And so literally, I was playing and that was kind of reminding me. No, I mean I don't use sync, and I don't process stuff through Record Box because I had some awful experiences with it. I need to. I need.
Record Box is just odd.
Well, I know.
I do use it.
Yeah, I need to get into it.
Apparently, there's a new one, and they've sorted loads of stuff out, but it's just always very clunky.
Yeah,
not like Serato, which is beautiful.
Right,
but you don't use Serato.
No, I don't care as what something that works and doesn't drop.
Exactly.
That doesn't fall down on me when I'm actually. I had a New Year's Eve in Glasgow once when all my files were collapsing, whatever that means. So you had to actually load
You'll get this, like Fad Gadgets. That's a bit of an in-joke for anyone everyone who's born in the 60s, yeah. But the technology it varies, but the CDJ seems to have taken over. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on that?
I love it because I like to edit. Obviously with vinyl, we always talked about doing dub plates and it's so expensive. I never did a dub plate where you'd actually do an edit one way or another with some tracks and actually put it out so you can play it yourself. Now we can edit whatever we want. You can extend the outro, intro.
Exactly. And do you get punters coming up to you going, "Oh, John, do you not miss vinyl? It's not the same."
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
And what's your response? Same as mine.
My back was absolutely
two
destroyed.
metal Ds.
I know, but on and off on trains, or whatever, or with two bags of records.
Exactly.
Even when you had trolleys, it was like you've got to negotiate. It doesn't, and then all the vinyl's getting worn out where you mix it in, you're spinning it back, mix it in, and it's all worn out.
So I can see why people want to buy it and collect it, but why do you still get DJs who like go, no, it's got to be vinyl.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
I don't get that either.
Do you get asked to do vinyl? John, I'm doing a vinyl only night.
No, I will obviously say, well, it'll be difficult.
I say no, unless you're happy with me using Serato.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not the same, is it?
It's not the same.
But it's about what comes out of the speakers, surely.
If you they didn't see what you were doing, how do they they don't know.
Exactly.
And I mean, even you've got to have a club with the most amazing acoustics and an amazingly set up sound system for you to maybe notice slightly the difference between a crap MP3 and vinyl. I mean, we're playing WAVs, we're playing almost lossless files, So I don't understand the idea of warmth, because it's all dependent on all the process all the way through. So
I want to freak out a vinyl purist, right? Just remind him or her that his brand new 12-inch single of a brand new piece of music by a contemporary artist is actually digital music pressed on vinyl. Of course, it's not going to sound better, is it?
Going through a digital desk.
Exactly. So I was going to say, what's your thoughts on this nostalgia? But I think we've managed to cover that at like two grumpy old men. Right, we're the same age. We're 60. You're 26 days older than me, as you love.
Younger.
Sorry, 26 days younger than me, as you love over the years reminding me of. Did you ever think, way back in the day, you'd still be doing this today? In your 60s? You did?
Yeah.
Because I didn't. Weird.
I just thought, well, what else am I going to do?
Exactly. That's the thing. What else are you going to do?
I mean, I went off. I was lecturing for a while, but that got scuppered by me going to Sweden. It was. I don't regret going to Sweden, but it came with a lot of sacrifices.
Do you think you'd have still been lecturing if you hadn't gone to Sweden?
Yeah.
Because I'm a part-time senior lecturer.
I would have been a senior lecturer if I'd stayed in the country. But it's like, it was. It's when you've got family, you'll make the decisions. So,
has there ever been a plan, or have you just kind of ended up going on the flow in an unexpected?
No, I can't actually claim that I've had a plan. But I keep having short-term plans. The labels are short. Is certainly something that there's a lot of planning involved. In that.
So
releases
I bet like me, you have amazing ideas, but sometimes life gets in the way of putting them into practice.
Life gets in the way all the time. So
So between what year did you start DJing?
Well, officially.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not as in professionally, it was 88. But
88.
It was.
So that's four. So between us, we have got 76 years of experience. That just sounds crazy, right?
Doesn't it?
So with that experience, what advice would you give to someone who wants to make a career like we have?
Crikey. Well, there's so many different factors that can send you off in different directions. But I've been asked this recently, and I do think you have to follow your own nose. You have to have your own sound. You have to be looking for music that really reflects you. And that's I particularly like quirky, wonky music. Let's say like acid house, whatever. But certainly there's certain factors that give me a buzz musically. So I don't follow the pack, as it were, and try and really.
So don't try and do what someone else is doing.
Exactly.
Maybe
Simple.
be aware of it.
Yeah.
Maybe take something from it.
Yeah.
But do your own thing.
Yeah. Make sure you do your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. What are you most proud of?
Oh, I don't know. What are you most proud of?
Children don't count.
Yeah. Well,
now I've
yeah. What would you say?
Discounted children. What am I most proud of?
I mean, I obviously.
Here's me asking the questions. I never thought about this.
Yeah,
myself.
I thought I'd give myself some time asking it back.
What am I most proud of? I mean, I've done a couple of remixes that I'm really proud of. Not the one that everyone asked me for.
Which is what?
I'm not even going to say it. I'm only encouraging people. The one that everyone asks me to play when I'm sometimes not even put my headphones in.
Yeah.
What am I most proud of? I suppose sticking to my guns. Being myself.
That's exactly what I was going to say to you. That's amazing.
I'm
not making it up.
No, but I've never played a record I genuinely don't like, even if it is the biggest record of the current period. Even if someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Parker,"
go on,
and that's just the women, right? "Hey, Parker, you know what'll really go down if you play this?" I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but it's massive. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Can't play a record I don't like.
Yeah, but I did actually say this recently, and that's you sticking to your guns and being being true to yourself. I mean, there's events in my life I'm proud of.
But
one
it's
of-
not been smooth.
know.
I would imagine, like me, it's not been smooth sailing for your career.
no.
There's probably been
Loads
some
and
low
lulls,
points.
loads and lulls. And it's, I went through a really horrible divorce, which I think, looking back now, I think I suffered PTSD from it. It was that bad. I moved out of Manchester to get away from it all, and got into lecturing a little bit. So it was time to recess. I mean, I certainly come back with renewed vigour, as they say. I'm as excited now about DJing as I was back then, and I'm probably better at it as
Yes.
well.
I
better at it.
totally agree. I'm probably more passionate about it now than I ever have been, because it's not about being more serious. It's about being more grateful that I'm still able to be in this privileged position.
Yeah.
Because people wouldn't keep asking us if we'd lost our
edge
or creativity.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
okay, so let's do some quick fire questions to wind things up.
I hate these.
Club or festival?
Club.
Big club, small club.
Small club.
Favorite DJs and artists of any genre, of any period?
Oh, favorite DJs. All the Derricks, I guess. Derek Carter, Derek May, Laurent Garnier's fantastic. Graeme Park's wonderful.
Thank you, John.
The recently coming through, Josh Caffey's really amazing DJ, along with Johnny Hawks, who is actually Quinn Wally from Paranoid London. He's amazing. I love what he does. Artists, past and present. I don't know. All of them.
All of them. That's a great. All of them, because I think after all this time, you have to have eclectic taste.
I have eclectic taste.
And all going back to the start of the interview, all the bands you mentioned, and all the albums like Television and Richard Hell and the Voidoids and the punk and the post-punk and the new wave, I still listen to those now. I listened to Blank Generation the other day and realised it sounds even better than it did in 1977. What have you learned?
What have I learned?
If you were to ask me, I'd say nothing.
Oh, really?
No, I wouldn't say nothing. I've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot, and I've learned to listen, and I've learned to actually be
Listen, that's a good one.
I learned to listen.
Did you not listen when you were younger?
I mean, to be honest, I've actually learned to be more self-critical, even though I think I'm very, very self-critical, but actually force myself to just check, what if you just, if you think some DJ sets, whatever, to actually have some professionalism, and like, I'll do, when you've had a few drinks and you played a big, played a club and you're just on the way back in the car, you got to drive for everything. It's like, other people analyse their sets, and I think that's something I should have done and I didn't do. But I mean, generally, it's just I think in life you always learn to be kind.
I've learned to be kind and patient, and not lose my temper. It's not worth it. What's on the horizon for you, John, at the moment?
As I say, the latest production, a lot of production. I'm working with a guy in Sweden called Jonas Nilsson. I've been working with him on and off for the years. We're having our ups and downs at the moment. Hello, Jonas.
Ups and downs are good, though.
Yeah, and but he's incredibly talented, and it's very difficult to do this kind of, remotely. He's down in the south of Sweden. I'm in Wayne.
See, there's technology helping out again.
But
how can people find you online? Because JonDasilva.net doesn't work anymore.
Does it not?
Well, it didn't work this morning.
Did it not? Oh, shit.
But you're on Facebook, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. My missus should have paid the bill on that one.
Right, there's only one Jon Dasilva, so all you got to do is
Joe.
All you got to do is search Jon Dasilva to find out what's coming up.
So try those, because all of my socials clearly are messed up because my Instagram was hacked a while ago, and I haven't got around to claiming that back. So
that explains those pictures you sent me. Okay, so last question. If you could go back to Preston when you were getting into music, young John, what would you say to your younger self?
Oh, crikey. Get out of town quicker.
Right. So we'll see you on the decks at Haçienda events later this year.
You will.
All over the UK, all over the country. Still at it. Still being absolutely superb.
Thank you, Graeme.
John, thank you very much.
And you, sir.
Jon Dasilva, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll see you again soon for another Haçienda in Conversation.
I'm so sorry.